Hi, you guys. It's Yaz, and today I'm going to talk about why narcissists underestimate super empaths. Narcissists, to begin with, think that they're smarter than you. They think in general that you're a fool and that because you've had heart and you were an empathic type of person, they feel that you're weak, okay? Narcissists look at you as weak. Why? Because you're not playing these games. You wear your heart on a sleeve. You trusted the narcissist. So automatically, when you trust a narcissist, they automatically think that you're weak, okay? Because they say, oh, ha, 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 they don't know the game. They don't know the game, right? Well, the thing is, that's right. You didn't think that this person was playing a game with you. But when you deal with a narcissist, they're all about games. Everything a narcissist does is a game, okay? They're almost like children. They don't walk in the truth. They just think that they can, manipulate you to get whatever they want. And some of them get a charge out of it. They get a charge out of deceiving you, okay? Like it's fun. It's fun in games to deceive you and make you think that, oh, they're so into you when they're not really into you. And look at how you're getting upset because they're not giving you attention. They're not giving you affection, all right? They get a charge out of playing with your emotions, right? So the thing is, you did, like somebody said in one of the comments, and she was spot on, that it's not that you didn't really necessarily know the game, it's that you didn't think they were playing a game with you from the get-go, okay? Because you thought you were dealing with an honest, upright, truthful type of person. But as time goes on, you realize that you're dealing with a narcissistic person who plays mind games, who blames you for everything, who's a blatant liar, who triangulates, who gives you a word salad, right? All these kinds of mind games. But what narcissists don't realize is they underestimate the super empath. Because when you're a super empath, you're not only like a typical empath, but you feel even greater. You feel even greater. So, and you give more, okay? You're the type of person that constantly wants to please people, wants to give, and try to make others happy. You feel deeper, right? So when you incur, that pain, you're going to feel it deeper than the narcissist even realizes, all right? Or they feel like you feel pain, but you'll be back, all right? And that pain that the narcissist incurs on you, they feel will keep you hooked, will keep you trauma bonded because you can't live without them, all right? This is what the narcissist thinks. You can't live without them. This is what they want. They want you to not be able to live without them. But again, narcissists underestimate super empaths because a super empath is a funny type of person in that they will give everything. They will give you the shirt off their back, everything. But then when they've really had enough, that super empath is going to drop the narcissist quicker than anything, okay? And this is what the narcissist underestimates, because the narcissist feels like, okay, when things don't work out with the super empath, it's okay because I remember how that super empath was, how that super empath chased after me, how that super empath was hungry and thirsty for my attention or my affection. So automatically, the narcissist is overconfident in thinking that you can't live without them. All right? So when you go no contact with the narcissist and you're a super empath, the narcissist automatically figures, you'll be back. You'll be back. They're very confident in that way, thinking that you're going to come back. But they get blindsided, all right? The narcissist is going to get blindsided because what happens is narcissists give it time, all right? They love to give it time, and they love to have that free time as well to go out, be with other people, try other supplies. Maybe they had a new supply on the side, that they pretend that they're moving on with, right? But they're still connected to that super empath because they remember that that super empath gave so much to them. They gave them so much supply, maybe even more than the new supply or other supplies. They know that that super empath really cared, all right? When you're a super empath, you really cared about that narcissist, okay? And that narcissist, they know it. The narcissist knows that you really cared, okay? And that's where they think that they have the power over the super empath to maybe give you time to cool down, and then they're going to come back and they're going to hoover you. Or they think that you're going to eventually break and come looking for them because they know that you really cared at some point. But what the narcissist neglected to realize is that the super empath, when they get to a certain point, there is no coming back, all right? There is no coming back, because what the narcissist doesn't realize is that that pain is so deep within the super empath that the super empath cannot forgive and cannot go back, all right? You know, just because somebody is a super empath and has such great feelings for somebody or feels so deeply, deeper than, let's say, a typical empathic type of person, doesn't mean that they're weak. And that's where the narcissist is fooled. That's where the narcissist is blindsided. And that's where the narcissist is going to see that you're not coming back, okay? You're not coming back because you've had enough. You've had enough of being kicked in the teeth, being disrespected, being treated like garbage. You've had enough, all right? So although the super empath may hit a very low point after breaking up with the narcissist because of that pain and that hurt, they're also not going to let it go. Okay? They're not going to, how do I know? Because I am a super empath. That's the type of person I am. I'm the type of person that will give you the shirt off my back. But if you treat me like garbage or you disrespect me, you're done. You're dead in my eyes. I will never bother with you again because I will not forget the pain that you put on me. Okay? And narcissists don't realize this because, again, narcissists are overconfident and think that they're smarter than you and that they can come back or that you're going to get weak. And what they typically do is they wait a little time. They see if you come back, you try them. Or they may try to provoke you either on social media by posting pictures with new supply, or they may try to, if that doesn't work, they may try to provoke you by making nasty remarks that you know are them from a catfish profile, or talking about you behind your back so it gets back to you to try to get you to do like a reverse Hoover where you reach out to the narcissist. They're going to try to spark something, right? But when you show them that has no effect on you because you've been hurt so deeply that you're not going to break, that's where the narcissist gets blindsided. And that's when they, 99% of the time, at certain point, when they're going to have a lull in their life. All right. This is what happens. A narcissist, initially when they go no contact with you, they're out, they're enjoying their life, they're having fun, they're enjoying the break from you. But after a while, it's going to get old, like everything else gets old with the narcissist. They're going to get bored with whoever they're with, or things may not work out with whoever they're with, and they're going to have a downtime, all right? They're going to maybe get bored, or they may be fighting with the person, or things aren't working out. And this is when the narcissist is going to try to come back and hoover you. All right. And they think because you're an empathic type of person that you're automatically a sucker that's going to take the bait. They feel, give it enough time, reach out to you, a couple months, maybe even more, even a couple years or something like that. It could happen. And they come back and they may, text you, hey, how you been? Or what's going on? They don't bring up anything about what happened in the past because they don't want to go there. Their goal is to try to reel you back in and get the supply. So they don't want to bring back any kind of shame that they incurred, So because they want things to run smoothly. They don't want to go back. They don't want to argue. They don't want to bring up the argument. They just want to, get that supply, latch on to that supply. So they're going to be very, very nice when they come back and they hoover you, and they're going to play the dumb card and make like nothing ever happened. But they know exactly what happened, and they know exactly what they did to you. So that's why no response to the narcissist. This is where you get your, where the narcissist gets their karma. This is when the narcissist gets blindsided by the super empath, because then they realize that super empath, does respect themselves and is not coming back. And just because they feel deeply and just because they really cared about the narcissist doesn't mean that they're a sucker. All right. Just because somebody cares about you doesn't mean they're a sucker that you can come back after time's gone by and think that you could reel them back in. Not today, Satan. Okay. Because what you did is cause an emotional injury to that super empath so that super empath still will not let it go and ever forgive you for that, okay? Because they remember the pain that they had from the narcissist. And that's where the narcissist loses. Game over. The narcissist game is over. So again, remember what I'm trying to convey to you. Narcissists automatically think when you're nice, when you're sweet, when you're giving, that you are a weak person. All right. You're a sucker because, you give so much and you set yourself up to get hurt. They automatically think that you're stupid and you're weak. This is how the narcissist thinks. Listen to me when I'm telling you this, because I've seen their reactions to things. I know how these people are and how their mind works. So when you show them that you're not going to engage with them anymore, that's when the narcissist will get their karma, all right? That's when the narcissist realizes that, what that nice, sweet person that they had at one time that would have gave them everything is no longer there for them, okay? Is no longer there for them. It's there for other giving, loving people, but not for the narcissist, because the super empath is going to turn their back on the narcissist and never, ever want to deal with them again, okay? And the way they do that is by no response, no contact, no response, no matter what the narcissist does. Even if the narcissist tries to provoke the super empath by calling them names, smearing them, trying to rip them up on social media, no response, okay? Because that super empath remembers the pain and, the devaluation that narcissist put on that super empath. And that will never, ever be forgiven, okay? Not that the super empath can't move on in their lives and be happy. Of course they can. It's a lesson learned. That's what it is. It's a lesson learned, and they move on. But they also realize that they won't allow somebody, or they won't put themselves in a position to get hurt like that again, because they remember the pain that they incurred deep inside themselves. And they will never allow that narcissist or any narcissist who causes that pain back into their life. Game over, narcissist. You're done. You're cooked. You're no longer going to get any more supply out of that super empath, because they have shut the door. They have turned an eye on you. All right. And this, my friends, is how the narcissist gets blindsided by the super empath. And the super empath has, at this point, the control, because they're not allowing the narcissist to control them. So narcissists, like I said, one of their biggest, faults is that they're overconfident, and they feel that, if they had you once, they could have you again. This is what they think. If they had you once, they could have it again. They just give it time. That's why sometimes, too, they hoover you. And when they have an unsuccessful hoover, like you don't respond, they'll even hoover you. They'll wait, and they may do it again down the line. Maybe a couple months, a couple years later, and they may try you again. All right. Again, it also depends on what's going on in the narcissist's life. If they're doing okay for themselves, you're not going to hear from them. If they're doing so-so, you could hear from them. And if they're doing terrible, you will hear from them. So that's how it goes, all right? And that's why narcissists are, they're blindsided by the super empath, and, they misjudge them. That's what it is. Narcissists misjudge super empaths because they feel that, they will always come back. And that is not always the case. And that's when the narcissist really loses, and they'll feel the loss. Okay? And that's when you may get your not revenge, but you get your peace in knowing that, you know what? Now you see, I respect myself, and now you know that I will never, ever allow you to be a part of my life. And it's as simple as that. You live, you learn, you move on, and now the narcissist no longer has access to you. They're done. They're finished. And, I'm not going to say they're going to grieve you, because narcissists don't really grieve anybody. It may hurt them that they can't get the supply out of you, but they'll keep trying and they'll keep moving on to other supply, because that's how narcissists roll, all right? So I hope that helps you. If it does, hit the subscribe button, share the podcast. If you're looking for confidential one-on-one phone coaching, I have limited time, you guys. I don't even know how much more time I can do this with the coaching, because I have this other project I'm working on. The other thing, check out my YouTube. I lay it down on there, over 6,000 videos where I talk about everything on YouTube, the Game Exposed podcast on YouTube. TikTok is the Game Exposed. Instagram is the Game EXP 123. And have a great day.